A man who claims to be King Charles's son is getting ready to wage a legal battle for a DNA test to prove it, amidst plans to create a Netflix documentary chronicling his fight. Simon Durante Day has been claiming he is the love child of King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla since the 1990s, and he does bear a strong resemblance. But what evidence does he have to support this? Keep watching to find out. An Australian man who claims to be the secret son of King Charles III and Camilla is in talks to take his controversial story to a global television audience, much to the dismay of British monarchists. Who is he? The British-born Simon Durante Day, now 56, was adopted when he was 8 months old. Both his adoptive grandparents had worked for Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. Simon Durante Day has attracted headlines around the world with his claim, which he says is simply the result of decades of research, but many remain skeptical. The Queensland father of 9 said he had been approached by prominent documentary makers from the US and UK following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Durante Day said they were keen to discuss plans to turn his search for the truth into a series or one-off documentary. The 56-year-old told 7news.com.au that he plans to approach Netflix to produce his story, which he hopes will force Buckingham Palace to address his claims, saying, "I want a DNA test from both of them, as ordered through proper legal means, and if sharing my story on Netflix or to a greater TV audience will help do that, then I say let's do it." Though his whole life is in Australia with his wife Elviana and children, Durante Day says he is also working on plans to visit the UK for the first time since going public with his royal paternity claims. For something that could be proved false, that's quite a journey. What claims does he have? When he was 8 months old, he was adopted by a local couple named Karen and David Day, and as we mentioned, his adoptive grandparents, Winifred and Ernest Bolden, worked for the Queen and Prince Philip, and Ernest also received an Imperial Service Award. Durante Day's grandmother apparently told him so many times that he was Camilla and Charles's child that Durante Day said, "She didn't just hint at it, she told me outright." Durante Day's research shows that Charles and Camilla became close in 1965. Durante Day claims that months later, in the lead-up when he was born, while Charles was sent to Australia, Camilla disappeared from Britain's social scene for at least 9 months. The historian claims that the hospital where Durante Day was born, as listed on his birth certificate, didn't deliver a single baby during the decade he was born in. It's further believed that the names listed on his birth certificate were false. Durante Day claims that Camilla kept him until he was 8 months old, using the royals and protection officers to help conceal him. Durante Day alleges that when he was getting too old, it was arranged that one of the Queen's former staff members, Durante Day's adoptive grandmother, would have her daughter adopt him. Durante Day says he has memories of being taken to houses around Portsmouth as a little boy, where he played with the woman he believes was Camilla while protection officers and his adoptive parents waited outside. Durante Day suspects his first and middle names were given to him by his biological parents. He claims his adoptive mother told him that it was a condition of the adoption that his name stays as Simon Charles, and that Charles and Camilla had a close friend called Simon at the time, so they decided to name him after their friend. If true, these claims sure sound convincing. As you might imagine, the royal family has never responded to Durante Day's claims. It's possible that they soon might have to. He's so certain about the outcome of his case that he's appeared in family court. "I'll be back at the family court," he recently told a 7news.com.au reporter. "In his final ruling, last time I was before the courts, the judge told me that if I come back with the evidence, all nice and neatly stamped, then there's no reason to deny an application for a DNA test. So Charles and Camilla will have to answer that." He recently released a letter he had written to the Queen, asking her to step in and take action regarding his case. In the letter, Durante Day explained that he reached out after approaching Queensland's governor, Dr. Jeanette Young, about the case. "I take the liberty of approaching you via the governor's office. However, given the position in which my family and I find ourselves, we feel this action is justified," he wrote. He then went on to describe how his appearance was altered during his childhood through a series of medical procedures. He believes these procedures were designed to conceal his true identity. He then closed his letter with an appeal for help. "I write to you on behalf of my family and I to ask for your assistance in resolving this matter and stopping this global assault. He seems to have an endless supply of determination. We'd love to know your thoughts. Is or isn't he of royal blood?" Other questions on the minds of the public include, are his motives sincere? King Charles' secret son has been reported to have no interest in financial gain or royal status from his father. He described himself as simply a man looking for his biological parents. We wonder if he'll know the truth before his dad is crowned king. In a ceremony roughly a quarter the size of his mother's, King Charles III will be crowned on May 6, 2023, in a ceremony despite the majority of the country looking forward to a moment of national pride. Some people are not so excited by the event. Opponents of the coronation are up in arms over the prospect of a ceremony that would reportedly cost tens of millions of pounds in taxpayers' money in light of the current economic crisis. Graham Smith, the head of the political group Republic, said that the coronation ceremony was completely unnecessary and that it wasn't constitutionally or legally required, since the king officially took over the throne when Her Majesty died. But a report in The Guardian says that the king wants to avoid a full wealth and pomp that comes with his job. Instead, he wants to show respect for the millions of Britons who are struggling with a crippling cost of living crisis. A royal source said last week the king will probably not do the same, before adding that the language will also be adapted so as to be understandable to a more modern audience. The ceremony will be conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury and will take place at Westminster Abbey in the presence of the royal family, MPs, and peers, along with foreign heads of state. Some MPs have called for a bank holiday to mark the occasion. Do you agree? Business Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg has also come out in favor of an additional bank holiday. The coronation is an important symbolic act with constitutional resonance about the stability of our system, he told The Telegraph last week. The ceremony will controversially coincide with the 4th birthday of Archie, the son of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. It is not yet known whether the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be in attendance at the ceremony or if they'll be able to attend their eldest child's birthday. Royal author Angela Levin says Prince Harry is reportedly scrambling to pull his memoir so he can get an invitation to King Charles' coronation. The Queen's death has sparked speculation about what Prince Harry could do with his bombshell tell-all memoir, which is believed to be highly damaging to the British monarchy. Some royal commentators claimed the book would never see the light of day, while others said it might be too late to edit or scrap it. Asked about the likelihood of Prince Harry dropping his memoir, biographer Angela Levin told Talk TV maybe they're desperate to go to the coronation. Maybe Meghan is desperate to wear one of the 40 tiaras, who knows? They've got a new PR team and they're trying to present themselves in a better way, said Miss Levin. In other headlines that aren't so flattering, during a weekly audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss, King Charles III reacts to her entrance with "Dear, oh dear." Liz Truss has only met with the new king a handful of times, with the first being on September 9th, 3 days after she took office. The king and the Prime Minister had their first weekly meeting on Wednesday to discuss government matters and any pressing news that the monarch, 73, might need to know. Footage of a meeting between Truss and the king shows her being led through a pair of double doors by palace staff, who announced her arrival, followed by Truss's curtsying and saying, "Your Majesty." Charles, smiling, replied, "Back again? Dear, oh dear." Miss Truss was heard to say, "It's a great pleasure. Is it a drama made out of nothing?" In a country that lives and breathes all things royal, avid and casual fans alike will always be interested in what these royals are up to next, good or bad, true or false. When we have any news on the Secret Sun scandal, you'll be the first to know.